This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Johnny Nelson here in sunny Manchester, thankfully the weather holds. Johnny, what are you wearing for same trainers?
Style, man. Style, baby.
Johnny, here we are, the return, the rematch of Usyk-Dubois Jr and Liam Smith. A lot of people kind of interested to see how this one plays out. Will it be the same? Will it be repeat or revenge? Simple question, Johnny. Will it be repeat or revenge?
I think it'll be repeat. I do think it'll be repeat. I think Chris's best chance is to fight fire, with fire, take it to Liam. He had successes in the first fight. I think he's learnt his mistakes, what he made. He's left Roy Jones. He obviously feels that the tactics or the style, what Roy Jones was trying to implement on him, didn't work for him in this fight. So therefore, in my head, Chris needs to be thinking, I got to get in there, try and bash this guy, get this job done. Otherwise, the same result will happen, but probably not happen as early.
Teaming up with Bomac, he's only teamed up with him about a month before fight night. As a former fighter yourself, Johnny, can that make any difference teaming up, especially so late?
It makes no difference at all. As far as I'm concerned, if you're a fighter that keeps chopping and changing coaches, that's a fundamental issue. You speak to people like Matthew Macklin, he wishes he didn't do that, you know, because you've got to get a coach to understand you know your ups and downs, know your good days, your bad days, know your feelings, and know how to work you. Because sometimes when you're in the corner, you need that word of wisdom that gets you motivated. It needs to be someone that knows you, and that's what it is. And so with Chris chopping and training coaches, again, I just don't think he's respecting the people he's working with. But he's doing his job. He's using them to facilitate him.
I watched the face-off that yourself and Liam and Chris did together, and when you asked him, is that the end of the road for you if you're unsuccessful, if you lose? He obviously said, next question, please. In your opinion, is that the end of the road for Junior if he's unsuccessful?
Not at all. I think Junior will end up fighting Conor because it's still a big money fight. He'll probably not get as much as what he thought he'd get initially, but I think, and that's why he wouldn't answer the question. You know, that's why he just wouldn't do it.
A couple of fights on the undercard, I want to get your thoughts on Johnny before we move on to other topics. Mark Heffon and Heffon-Cullen is a terrific fight. Which way do you lean towards?
That's a tough one, man. I think Cullen could give Heffon hellfire, but it's just a tough one. I'm leaning towards Heffon. It's a tough fight. It's a really good fight.
Fraser Clark and Dave Allen, it's one which has divided opinion. Obviously, Dave Allen returning to his first big fight. Obviously, he's had a few fights recently on the back of him announcing his retirement previously. Some people don't really want to see him return to the ring. In the past, he said on the back of his sparring with Oleksandr Usyk, he was getting ready for a big fight, and then he said that he just didn't enjoy getting punched in the head anymore. Johnny, is it concerning at all if a fighter's saying that and returning to the ring that it's just too much?
Well, I'd be a hypocrite to change my point of view now, and I said Dave Allen, you know, he needs to be safe from himself. I think Dave Allen is a handful. Dave Allen's a tough unit. Dave Allen is earning decent dough at this, but in 5-10 years' time, he realised these last few fights will have a massive difference on his health. And you can only tell somebody, we can't legally stop anybody from doing that. This is Dave Allen's show. You know what? One punch might change everything. But we've seen, you know, Dave Allen will only get so far. His ability will only take him so far. So he's got to think, well, why am I in it? I'm a prize fighter. I want to make as much dough as possible. It's just a worry. It is a worry. And so I don't change my opinion. I still think he should have, you know, walk away from the game. But it's a good little tester to see how Fraser deals with such a tough, big unit in front of him.
Johnny, away from this fight, as always, there's other topics to ask your thoughts on. This past weekend, we saw Oleksandr Usyk retain his unified heavyweight crown. The obvious question, was it a low blow, yes or no?
No, it wasn't a low blow. It wasn't a low blow. I think Oleksandr Usyk took advantage of the game. Human error, the referee, pressure, instinctively, you know, as far as he was concerned, that was a low blow. You look at the replay, it wasn't a low blow. It was on the belt. The edge of the glove just shadowed over the lower side of the belt, but it wasn't a blow. A low blow is getting hit in the hip. A low blow is getting hit in the balls. A low blow is getting hit in the groin. He didn't get hit there. He got hit where the belt of his shorts were.
After that happened, obviously Alexander rose, but for a couple of minutes after that, and until he could see the round out, he was just circling. Daniel seemed to be a bit more aggressive, but never really let his hands go. Was you disappointed after seeing Alexander rise that maybe Daniel didn't put a bit more into trying to make the most of Alexander's recovery period?
I think Daniel will be disappointed as well, but you know what, he did what he could do. You know, instinctively he's thinking, I've got you, I've got to jump on you and get you out of it. But the momentum of the fight was lost once the referee gave Usyk 5 minutes to play the game, and so that's why that if there was ever a chance for Daniel, apart from that puncher's chance, that was it, and the referee took that away from him.
Johnny, obviously, us as reporters are in no position to kind of say this, but we can ask the question, especially to a former fighter like yourself. The stoppage was, did Daniel, in your opinion, quit, as people have been asking the question?
The choice to carry on was Daniel's. Daniel didn't get punched down, Daniel went down. There's a difference. I've seen guys get hit and they land on their back, they don't land on their arse. Daniel got a shot, was hurt by the shot, went down, put his hand down first, and he got up at 9. And it's a subtle way of saying, I want out, but I'll fight if you make me. You get up at 8 if you want in. Daniel chose to say, look, in his head thinking, there's not more I can do. And listen, it's human instinct. So anybody can judge and say, quit this, that and the other. It's human instinct. When you're getting battered, or when you're getting hit and getting hurt, you know, you're either one sort of person, it's either fight or flight. So you either get up and think, I'm going to die in here today, or common sense kicks in and thinks, you know what, I'm going to lose this battle. You know, I'm going to lose. I had a good fight, I'm going to lose this battle.
Away from that one, I'll get your thoughts on the return of a positive test from Robert Helenius. Obviously, recently, Johnny, we've seen quite a few adverse analytical findings return from PED tests. What was your thoughts on seeing Robert Helenius return one when he stepped in to replace somebody else who had failed the test?
It was a rush job, obviously, but my opinion has not changed at all in regards to the situation with drugs. The situation is the governing bodies, not just one governing body, the governing bodies need to implement that everybody suffers the consequences. Don't just name the fighter. And because, and when I say everybody, I mean all your team, whoever gets in your corner with you to represent you and to smile if you win and take the glory, they've got to take the bruising as well. And so, and all those people that are in that team, if their living is affected, because they're not getting paid as much as a fight, if their living is affected by a ban for 2 years, just like the fighters, there were less people inclined to turn a blind eye. So what's happened with Robert will happen again. So I'm not surprised that my comments don't change at all. It's going to keep happening until the governing bodies do something. So I know the promoter's saying we'll do this, we'll do our own in-house, clean up, but it don't work like that, because it's like owning a company and having your own human resources section in it. Their best interest is for the company, not for the people that's working for the company. So when promoters and everything say we're going to do this and the other, it's great words, but in reality, come on, man, let's use common sense.
Johnny, why do you believe at this moment in time there's been more positive tests being returned as opposed to, say, past years?
What do I believe? So basically, fighters that want to cheat, fighters that want to try and cut corners, fighters that want to get an advantage, that's what they're doing, thinking I can get away with it. They think they're smart. They end up outsmarting themselves. They probably got away with it before, so thought I'll get away with it again. But testing has become a lot smarter, a lot sharper, a lot more advanced.
Sticking with heavyweight division and sticking with Anthony Joshua, the Deontay Wilder fight, a lot of talk about whether or not that will happen in January. On the back of his performance against Robert Helenius, how do you think he would fare in that bout?
I can only guess. I can't say how he'd fare, but in regards to if the fight should happen next, if I was in his team, I'd say no. I want to see you go in there and believe in your shit, own your shit, all the way through the fight, because he showed he's got that ability. He showed he's a force to be reckoned with, but he also showed that he's still unsure about some of the things he does or the fighter he is.
Sticking with heavyweight division again, Joyce Zhang 2 is a matter of weeks away. Will Joyce again repeat on revenge?
That could be revenge, because Joe tried to chop down another Joe. That stuck it out. Joe can box, and Joe if he boxes and bangs, he'll win. You know, so that could be revenge.
Just one I want to get your thoughts on. We're again a few weeks away from Canelo facing Charlo. Just to get your take on that. Jamel moving up 2 weights to face Canelo. Do you give him much of a chance?
I do give him a chance. He's a very talented fighter. I think Canelo is still a force to be reckoned with. Beats 99% of fighters in the world today. He's not the fighter he was, but the fighter he is enough to give hellfire to a lot of fighters out there and beat them. Charlo, can't write him off because this is a winnable fight for Charlo. He's a talented fighter. He's a skilled fighter. So will the power make a difference? That might be the key factor.
Johnny, we've had Terence Crawford saying that he'd step up to 168 to face Canelo.
Don't do it, man. Listen, don't do it. It's that simple. Don't do it. You know, Canelo is a naturally strong fighter, naturally strong, and Terence is a skilled fighter, but so's Canelo. So if you're in against another skilled, talented, bigger punching fighter, you're going to get your ass bust. You know, so we saw it before with Roy Jones. When he stepped up the heavyweight and came back down, he was never the same fighter again. So I wouldn't do it. But, you know, he knows what he's capable of doing. I just personally, I wouldn't be my call.
Johnny, that was going to be my final one. I'm going to sneak another one in. You obviously trained out of the same gym as Naz this past weekend. His son made his pro debut. What did you make of Adam's very brief stint in the ring?
You know what? It's very harsh to try and make an opinion on somebody when it's his professional debut. I think because of his name, because of his dad, he got himself in the hot seat, you know, chief support, and so that's a good thing for him. But now the spotlight's on him, and with the spotlight being on him, what will happen is he's going to be critiqued, and that's part of the learning of our fight game, you know, because you got to take the good with the bad.
Johnny, I appreciate your time now. I'm sure there's other people waiting to speak to you. Thank you.
Anytime.